Hi, my name is Justin Sheffer. I'm a senior wellness management major, graduating in the spring, unfortunately, but I'm happy to present to you guys in the class of HSC 386, Wellness and Contemporary Living. So my assigned chapter for the Fat Land, How Americans Became the Fattest People in the World by Greg Kritzer is Chapter 5. And basically what Chapter 5 highlights is why we are so fat, so to say, why we are obese as a nation. The beginning of the chapter kind of segues as to other reasons why other people think why we're obese and why our country has gotten to the state that we're in. And that some speculations are true, others aren't. And this chapter basically addresses what is true and what isn't based on research throughout the United States at different universities, including University of Pittsburgh, University of Nevada, University of Boston, a couple of others that are just very prevalent in the chapter to discuss why we are obese as a nation. So let's get started. So as a country, people who have a lower socioeconomic status are generally more obese. And why is that? It may be because of race, gender, culture, the way you're born into society, whatever. There's a multitude of reasons. But for households with less than $10,000 annual income, which means both your parents make less than $10,000 a year, 33% of people are black, 26% are Hispanic, and 19% are white. So in regards to speculations made about race, it could be true, but it's a little bit slim and skewed. Now, with households with $50,000 combined annual income between two parents, or two adults, or one adult, whatever, 23% are black that are obese. Same with the first statistic, these people are obese. 22% are Hispanic, and 16% are whites. Now, if you notice between the first two statistics, $10,000 and $50,000, there's a higher percentage of obese people in regards to annual income that's lower in comparison to an annual income that's higher. So you could kind of formulate an opinion of, or even a conclusion of, people who have a lower income or have a lower socioeconomic status tend to be more obese. And I want you to do a little social test. So go out in the street, I don't know, maybe even Oswego or Syracuse, and see if you can test that. So go into an area that's more of class, middle, high class, I don't know, Armory Square, so to say, and just look around. See, count how many people that are obese, count how many aren't, and then go into an area that's a little bit less, higher class, middle class, maybe lower towards the poverty line, and count another 10, 15 people, whatever you did the first time in Armory Square, and look at the comparison of people in regards to obesity. It's a little social test, something to try out on your own. Anyway, another part of this chapter that's discussed is regarding what food choices we have as middle and lower class. So middle class, you have more exposure to education and health reform programs and things that can educate us as individuals to become more healthy. But people who are developed in lower socioeconomic status areas do not have that education. They don't have those resources provided to them. So obesity means a lack of money, not other ridiculous speculations made by society. Class comes first in regards to the obesity equation. This was first made as a discovery by a University of Pittsburgh professor, and he proposed that there's an epidemic in regards to obesity in regards to money, rather than gender, race, or culture. So it's a money issue. So why can we as Americans in different social classes not eat the same things? Well, that's because of predators such as McDonald's, Burger King, or any other fast food chain that you see on any given day. They have set their food prices extremely low to meet the needs of people who are at that lower socioeconomic status. That's why I told you to do that little social experiment in regards to counting how many people are overweight or not overweight in regards to Armory Square, inner city Syracuse, is because you're going to see not only the number more obese people in those lower socioeconomic status areas, you're going to see more fast food chains, more restaurants that are going to suck you in, or not restaurants, but organization establishments that are going to suck you in and try and suck your money dry, such as pawn shops, car repair shops that are going to overcharge in lower areas of poverty and that kind of thing. So these powerhouses of food companies are trying to take over the lower, income households because they know that that's what they can afford. So they're preying on that. And another tactic that these restaurants utilize, and this is discussed in the chapter as well, is kids. And no offense, but that's cheating. Kids don't have an exposure and an education system and a foundation built around them to really have the decision making to say no to these fast food chains. So another thing that was discussed in this chapter is that kids are a target for these fast food chains such as McDonald's and other restaurants. And another one mentioned is Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut actually changed their slogan so that kids would be able to read it easier on TV or on a poster board or wherever you see it in public. And McDonald's had a similar scheme. And there was a study that was put out by 1993, 41% of all Saturday morning kids show ads were for high-fat foods. Now, back in the 60s and 70s, this was unheard of. McDonald's was just being established. Health was okay at that point. You know, fast food wasn't really something that was, you know, predominant in people's lives. And not only that, but it wasn't a leading cause of obesity in America. But now these companies have really been able to expand upon advertising towards kids, and that's why they've had such great success. And people have not been able to do anything about it because what is the the FTC the Federal Trade Commission going to do? What are they going to tell McDonald's not to stop or to stop selling, like to stop being successful? No, that's not logical. It's not how businesses work. It's not like McDonald's is a monopoly, for God's sakes. It's just it's something that is a little bit twisted and sick, and that's why our country is so is lacking in regards to education and food choices, because we have readily available food that kids can access that's cheap, and people who are poor and can't gain access to expensive healthy foods choose these options, and obesity rates continue to rise in our country. Now, in my opinion, I think that McDonald's and these fast food chains should implement more healthier choices as an establishment. And that meaning maybe include a few more salads, wraps. And the worst part about this is these establishments claim to do this already. They just put more of an emphasis on their faster selling products such as fries, burgers, Big Macs, all those things that lead to high fat, high sugar, high content foods ingredients that are terrible for you, that lead to these obesity issues in our country. So just to wrap it up a little bit, I think that these organizations need to try harder to implement healthier choices for not only us as consumers, but kids, and advertise that. I think these companies are taking advantage of something that kids can't control, and it's sick and it's not okay. And that is my 2 cents worth, and I will wrap that up with that. Thank you guys for listening, and I appreciate the comments and feedback. Have a nice day.